Today for episode 4 of How to Build the Abandoned Minigames lobby, we'll be editing parts of the sewer building in order to make it look abandoned and derelict. Now for this tutorial, we'll not be giving you guys a specific material list as it's just too difficult to track exactly what blocks were needed to turn the normal sewer building into its abandoned counterpart, but instead I'll be giving you a rough material list. So to get started, we are first going to be digging up some spots in front of the building and then replacing those spots with certain blocks. Now like in previous episodes of the series, I've already gone ahead and removed the blocks that we're going to be actually replacing, and underneath them I've placed a very specific colours of concrete. The first blocks we'll be placing down will be our core star, which we placed above the brown concrete. Next we'll be taking our stone and placing that above the grey concrete. Then we'll be taking now our mossy cobblestone and placing that above the dark green concrete. And to finish things off, we'll be placing our mossy stone bricks above the lime green concrete and our regular dirt blocks above the black concrete, and then our one grass block above the yellow concrete. If you've done the entire of the outside area correctly, it should look just like this. Now one last thing before we start working on the bottom floor of the building is going to be the outside of the building next to these slime blocks. Here we're going to replace a few stone bricks with cracked stone bricks and stone brick stairs, but like in previous tutorials, it's a bit of a challenge for me to explain exactly what blocks I'm going to be removing and replacing, so hopefully with me going slow enough you guys can just easily follow along. Now that we've done the outside of the building, let's move into the bottom floor of it and then actually start working from the left entrance. First, we're going to be breaking some blocks above and around the iron door in order to make the room behind it completely accessible. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to come down to the two windows at the bottom of this kind of like hallway and break the right window and the block above it as well. This is how you're going to be getting in and out of the extra area we're about to build behind that. Now, this might look a little bit intimidating, but from here, what you're going to be seeing, of course, is that I've already pre-built this little kind of dome looking area out of concrete. And as you'll obviously see, of course, as well, I've placed a couple of torches down so you guys can actually see what everything looks like. Now, the reason why I've built this dome is not just for my own entertainment. It's actually, again, for kind of a similar reason as to what we've done at the beginning. It's so you guys can see what blocks we're going to be placing in which areas, and obviously, of course, against which colors of concrete. So we're going to begin nice and easy with the first blocks we're going to be placing down being our grass blocks, which will be getting placed above the yellow concrete. Next, we'll take our one stone brick and place that against the black concrete. Then we'll take our stone and place that all the way around us on the grey concrete. Now this might look a little bit intimidating, but I promise I've kind of worked out a pretty good way to do this. Now, I'm not going to be able to verbally explain exactly where I'm placing the blocks, obviously, because it's, you know, quite difficult to kind of fully explain. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be placing in the stone, as you should be seeing right here, right now, placing the stone in layer by layer by layer in a very slow and easy to follow kind of fashion. So again, either turn down the playback speed if it's necessary, or pause, of course, if it's necessary, and just watch me slowly place these blocks in. Now, if you've done everything correctly, the actual area here should look just like this. As a little note, before we leave this area, you're going to want to make sure that you actually take the torches with you. You don't want to leave those. I had those just for your sake, but they're not actually supposed to be there. So now that we've finished the downstairs area of the store building, let's move upstairs. The first and easiest things that we're going to be doing is removing the paintings on both sides of the floor and then destroying the chandeliers that are above us. Next, we'll break some blocks in the floor to then rebuild these chandeliers, making them look as if they've kind of fallen from the roof and crashed through the floor. And hopefully for me going slowly like before, of course, it's easy enough to follow because I'm not building, you know, a little bit too quickly. Now, ladies and gentlemen, going forward, this next segment of footage is no doubt going to be very long, but also as well a little bit difficult to follow because for me, I've not been able to find any sort of way to verbally describe what I'm breaking, placing, and replacing. So just be sure to watch very closely and take advantage of turning the playback speed all the way down if needed, or pausing at points, of course, if it is necessary. As a note, I will be doing my best to try and work from one side to another, and what I mean by that is I might work on the far left wall, and then the back wall, and then the far right wall, and kind of work my way around. But obviously, as you'll see from the footage here, because I know it's going to be quite a long segment of footage though, I do work my way around, and then eventually with the roof, I kind of find a little bit of a pattern towards the end of the footage. So just bear with me and just try and work alongside me, although it may be a little bit difficult and it may be a little bit hard to watch. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is actually right here, this entire room done. So if you guys managed to follow along with what I just done or what I just showed you guys me doing, well done to you. You deserve a sticker and a bloody cookie at that, because that was probably the hardest and most weird piece of footage for me to record and not have any level of vocal tutorial over. So well done if you followed that. Now, as a last detail before we move on to actually flattening the roof, of course, so before we actually move outside of the building as well to work on the exterior, because right now we're just finishing up the interior, what we're going to do real quick is just adjust the swords, or the swords and the item frames, to look just like this. And of course, to finish everything off, like what I just said a second ago, we're actually going to be working outside on the exterior of the building on the second floor area. And what we're going to be doing is just coming up to the kind of roof area and to some extent, obviously, replacing certain blocks. And again, this is really annoying because I can't verbally describe what I'm doing because, you know, there's not really any rhyme or reason. I'm trying to work from the left side, doing the whole of the left side of the building or the store building, and then working on the middle section of the store building. And then, of course, eventually making my way over to the right side of the store building. So hopefully that makes that a teeny bit more easier to follow along. But again, I really do apologize if this is a bit more challenging to follow along. So now that we've done the exterior, interior, and the entirety of the bottom, and of course, well, I guess top or obviously middle floor, we can start working on flattening the roof. Now to do this, all we're going to be doing, guys, is, as you can probably tell right here, just going up to this certain block height and kind of above these pillar-ish areas, and from there just pretty much destroying everything. Now I want to be a bit more kind of specific when I say destroying everything, and I'm entirely going off script here when I'm saying this. Obviously you're not going to excuse me, want to destroy these stone blocks or the dirt blocks that we placed just a moment ago, that you're going to be seeing me kind of be able to visually see underneath obviously the ceiling once I start to break that down, or the roof, because you know that is the actual roof of the inside of the second floor. So we're going to leave that'll get covered eventually when we actually cover this entire lobby, this old lobby, in stone, and this will all get cleaned up and made to look really, you know, fancy and nice, but for right now this is how it is actually inherently going to look. It's going to be a little bit exposed, which you'll see at the end of this clip, just before we move on to doing the final details. But yeah, it's a bit of a long section here, guys. You know, we're just destroying things and inherently, you know, getting rid of what was a lot of work that we previously done, you know. So yeah, guys, just kick on, destroy the entire of the roof. I'm going to stop talking right now and let you guys enjoy the music, and yeah, guys, I'll catch up with you once we've done that. So that is us, guys. To some extent, we have done the entire of the actual front yard area to some extent. We've done the bottom floor, the technically top floor, the middle floor, and now of course we flattened the roof. And there is some final details to do, guys, which is of course placing in it some water and some lily pads. It's not very complicated or complex. We're just going to get 2 buckets of water and just fill in those little kind of pools out the front area of the store building, and that's inherently as, and put some lily pads in as well. Oh, and of course, I can't forget, excuse me, we're going to go across to where the armor stands are on the left side of the lobby kind of thing, or the store building, left side entrance, that area there. We're going to break 2 glass panes, and that's meant to be like that in general. We're going to go inside, destroy the original armor stands, and then just place 4 dark black or black wool blocks down, then replace one of the armor stands with the original armor on it and the mob head, and then obviously a zombie head on the left of that, and that's just inherently done with everything here, I promise you. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of this tutorial, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. If you're going to enjoy this, please be sure to share it with your friends, drop a like, and if you guys have any questions or issues, leave a comment and I'll respond as soon as possible. Also, just want to say once again, well done to everybody who watched this tutorial and was able to kind of manage to get through it without ripping the hair out their head, or at least most of the hair out their head, I guess. Guys, I know this wasn't my best tutorial on how to, build or rebuild or do things like this with the minigames lobby, but well done to those of you who managed to follow it. But yeah, guys, if you haven't already subscribed, please be sure to subscribe to the notification bell to stay notified when I release the next episode of this series. And other than that, thank you all so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next tutorial or the next episode.